I want to start off by saying I am very grateful for the roof that we have over our head. Very grateful that we found the apartment where we're living at now. When we got evicted back then at the first apartment where we used to live at, it's just sad that, sometimes, like, I don't even know if it's like people that live in the area itself, or whatever it is. Like, we have never had any issues at the apartment, and it started about but a little over a year ago. So the first incident that happened was in my car. It was like, I remember it was like during the summer, because it was so hot. I remember because my boyfriend, can't remember what occasion it was, but he gave me like $300, and he was like, so you can go buy yourself some stuff. And I was like, oh, thank you. I completely forgot to put it in my bag and my wallet, and then take it back with me inside. I left it in the car. Now, my car isn't the car that I used to drive is an older car, like a 2000 Honda. So for some reason, the locks doesn't lock even if I push the button. I have to like push the little button back here in order for it to lock sometimes. So I think that's what happened that day, because I remember locking the car, leaving, and then the next day I kept on thinking about the money, because he gifted the money for me to go buy myself stuff that I wanted, like, because I was telling him that I wanted to start working out, and he was like, so you can go buy yourself some like workout stuff and whatever you want. So I was so happy. And then I kept thinking about that money like the next day, and I was like, well, I got work I need to get done, so I can't go to the bank right now, right? And so the day flew by. Then we happened to end up going to a doctor's appointment. Then my little one wanted a snack. So then I was like, well, I don't have any cash on me right now. And I was like, let me actually go check my car. I do have some cash. When I went to look for my money, I didn't see it there. And I was like, wait. I was like, I'm sure I left it here, checked my bag, checked everywhere, and I couldn't see it. However, that same morning, because I went to go get something for my car, and I realized that the air freshener, I usually keep like extra air fresheners in the little compartment in the middle of the seat. I noticed that one of the air fresheners was on the seat next to me. I don't remember taking it out or anything, but I didn't think anything of it, right? I was busy, had work and stuff, but that's when it clicked on me. I was like, oh my gosh, somebody broke into my car. I asked my boyfriend, I was like, did you end up taking that money? I was like, no, I gave you the money, then I don't know what you did with it. But yeah, that was like the very first incident. I was so mad. I was so devastated and upset, because that was $300 and some change. So I called the landlord and I asked him, I was like, hey, I think they broke into my car, da 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 da. And he was like, okay, yeah, let me check the surveillance camera. He was like, do you recall at any time? And I'm like, well, it must have happened during the night, because I was there in the evening, and so they checked. They came back with the footage. It was like two guys that were like in my car, just like going through my stuff. We made a police report and everything, but nobody really does anything. There isn't really anything that you can do when you can't like really recognize them, or even if they recognize them. I don't even know, like, they focus more on like big things, right? They don't focus on little things. So that was that. The beginning of this year, I don't remember how many months went by, and then that's when they broke into my boyfriend's work truck, and they stole everything that he had. And I think that's what makes me more upset. I mean, it's been months now, but every time I think about it, it makes me really sad because my boyfriend, he works in construction, and he's been wanting to sort of start his own like little company and stuff. So over the years, he has been like purchasing, you know, the tools that are needed, generators, compressor, and you know, all kinds of like a lot of tools. I'm not kidding. It was like over $5,000 worth in tools that were in his truck, and they took everything from like saws, you know, pretty much every tool that you can think of that you would need in construction. He works in framing, so he had it in the back of his truck. So he had this little truck that had a camper on it, and it would lock with the key and everything. And so the thing is, like, the car was kind of like, the truck was kind of messing, so he kind of stopped driving it, and he would just take the little car to work. And so all of his tools were in the truck. The truck was just parked in the parking space for the apartment. And then one day when he was gonna go to work, he came back inside, and he was like, hey, they think they broke into my truck and they stole all my tools. When we went and we looked, it was completely empty. They took everything. Like, in less than 5 minutes, they loaded everything to their car and they left with everything. It was so bad. We called the landlord, we called the police, we made a police report, we filed everything, but same thing. Nothing. We have not heard anything. We have not, you know, and it's sad because I'm thinking, like, if he had like some sort of insurance that would cover the tools, maybe he would have been able to get at least some reimbursement for that. But yeah, this happened, I want to say the beginning of this year. That's when that happened, and it takes a long time to recover from something like that. Like I said, he has been purchasing his tools over the years. You know, he saves up, then he purchases one, and so on and so forth. So it has taken him some years to build up all of those tools, and you know, people just came and took everything. And so now he's back in square one, because they took everything. He's been trying to build back up his tools and everything, but with the whole situation that we're going through now, that I stopped working and, you know, and stuff like that, it's not really helping. But yeah, it is really sad to know that there's people out there that's basically what they do for a living, you know. And based on the cameras and the videos the footage that we have, it seems like they had been like kind of like targeting his truck. Like they knew either they live at the apartment complex, or they're just people that, you know, go and just be on the lookout for stuff that they can steal. But it seems like because the way it shows on the video, the way, like, I think they went like once or twice around the apartment complex, and then they came back and they went straight to the truck. Like, it wasn't like they were walking around and searching or anything like that. Like, they knew what they were going for, and they had the target. And so yeah, it's and the worst thing is, like, when we were looking at some of the footage, some of the same, one of them or a couple of them were hanging out with a guy that lives like at the apartment building that's like right next to ours. So I know they frequent that place. It's not like they were strangers to the apartment complex. They've been there. They know who has stuff. They pay attention, and then they come back and just take it. It is very upsetting and sad because, you know, here we are working hard, saving up money, to get ourselves, to buy ourselves stuff that we want to help us reach goals and whatnot. And then there's people out there that are just taking stuff. You know, that's it. I was so upset. When that happened, that was like another super like big like push and like wake up call for me. And I was like, we need to move out of here. You know, when it happened the first time, I was already like, we need to get out of here, da 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 da. But same thing, like there's a lot of like stuff that you need to prepare, especially if you don't have a good credit score, credit history and whatnot, in order to qualify for a loan. So we had been working on those things, and then this happened, right? When they broke into my boyfriend's truck and took everything, and I was so mad. But at that point in time, there weren't a whole lot of properties for sale that were within our budget. There were properties like over $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 over our budget, and with the budget that we had, we could find something, but it was not a super safe place. And that's one thing that we were talking about. We were like, we want to get out of here because we want to go to a safer neighborhood, safer something where we're not going to be faced with problems like this. However, that's like out of our budget, you know. So we kept waiting. And yeah, the market just wasn't cooperating back then. Things are getting a little better now. And the thing is, like, if something were to come up, I don't have the whole down payment available to me. So yeah, if it's not one thing, it's another. It feels like, honestly. But I just wanted to share that experience. It's sad because when something like that happens, it's hard to recover from it. Like I said, my boyfriend had been working on leaving the company where he's working at and kind of like start his own thing. But now that they stole all of his tools, he's gonna have to start saving up money for that. And you know, who knows when he'll be able to do what he's been wanting to do, to start his own company. So this world sometimes can be really unfair with hardworking people. I just hope there's something better waiting for us, you know, despite everything that has been happening and stuff. I just hope that around the corner things are gonna get better for us.